Russian forces advancing in 3 directions, from the north, from the east and also from the south, trying to push closer to the capital Kiev, but also stepping up their assaults on other critical cities. You've really noticed a change in the mood here in the capital. People have gone from believing that this wouldn't happen to having to reckon with living in a time of war. We've seen thousands of people flee the city. I think for many people, they're now seeing families being split up, real hardship, and facing the reality that tomorrow will not look like today for now.
As the world now knows, Ukraine is facing some unprecedented times. In fact, the world as a whole is. But you know what? Even though there's a lot of negative and there's a lot of fear and there's a lot of need, there's always an opportunity for us to do good. Now, for those of you that don't know, our clients, passive investors, and active alike, His Capital has been a proud board member of Mission 823, an organization that for years has been helping the people of Ukraine in many ways. Well, right now, we're joining forces with them again, and we're focusing our efforts to be able to influence and feed nations and make a difference in this current situation. And we're calling each and every one of you to join us on this particular moment in time, where if we join forces together, we can save the lives of many people and make a positive out of something completely negative. So in this particular video, I want you to watch the entire video and see how currently, even though we're stationed in the US, by having boots on the ground in Ukraine, we can come together with our brothers and sisters to provide aid, provide shelter, and provide transportation and even clean water to the people that need it most. You can join us right now in saving the lives of people and leaving a legacy worth remembering.
With His Capital Group, reaching out to all our investors and our friends, we all know each other, and the first thing we can do is be the most efficient as possible to help our friends in Ukraine. We have a house, we have it in place. We were there 3 years ago, and this house can house 50 people. We have 40 in there already. We're looking to add 10 more, and with that comes a cost. And we're reaching out to you to help us sustain this project, and you can count on His Capital's committed to see this project through and to help save the lives of these people. Project number 2, the most logical choice is we have another house in place, and literally it's just a few $1,000s away from completion, and we can move another 30 families into that house. And we, as a company, are fully committed to see this through and to help another 30 families seek refuge.
In addition to the housing and supporting those families that are out there, one of the other key elements that we believe is essential is trying to help with transportation. We really want to make sure that the people that we can get out of that country into a neighboring country is the most effective way to save lives. And I literally mean saving hundreds, if not thousands of lives by doing this. So we're calling on you to join us to make sure that we have the transportation so that we can move people from Ukraine to Romania, Poland, and even Moldova if need be. So what is the plan right now? Well, we already have resources that we put together. So we already had the $15,000 to buy a larger van. And while that's all great, we're having to take some of the cash that we have there to allocate for Camp Willow Park, who already has 40 families there. So obviously there's an emergency. We have a deficit. We need to get the rest of the money to go ahead and get a van so that we can get some gas to them and they can start literally driving families through the borders to a neighboring country that's going to help them and provide housing for them in a place that's safer and away from the battle. Now, if we can grow the support for this, we'd like to get several buses and have some of our local assets transport people by 50, 60 at a time. But let me put this in perspective. Just one person that we take over from Ukraine into another country is one life that we're saving. I want you to think of it this way. What if that life was your wife or your husband or your kids? I think each and every one of us here would do everything in our power to transport them into a safe place, even if that meant that we had to stay behind. So we have the opportunity right now to create the transportation availability for them so that we can start moving people into a safe place together.
Let's talk about the basic necessity of water. We literally have bought thousands of these water filters in the past. We're looking at buying 2,500 more water filters that literally will provide tens of thousands of gallons of pure water for these people. It's a simple process. You take a little filter, put it on a 5-gallon pail. You can literally dip it in a lake, and the water comes out pure, and you can drink it, and it's life-sustaining. The other thing is, where these people are going and fleeing to, it's literally below zero there right now, and they're getting to these areas, and they don't have enough clothes to sustain them. And I just can't imagine standing out there with no shelter and not enough clothes. We have clothes. We have people that are donating clothes. We're trying to get transportation over there, and with that transportation comes a cost. And we're calling out to each one of our investors to help with that as well.
So to sum this up, you and I have an opportunity to partner together right now and invest with purpose so that we can save the lives of many people together. So to sum everything up, our main goal, we want to make sure that we have shelter, we have resources for those people in the 2 houses. We want to make sure that we have the proper transportation to move as many people as possible into a safe environment in a neighboring country. And you can help us do that. In addition to that, we need clean water. So we have filters ready to go that we need to transport through Poland, through Romania and other parts of the other countries to get them inside of Ukraine so that the people who are struggling, who literally cannot take any cash out of a bank, can at least have fresh water to drink. And we want to clothe them because in all the surrounding areas, it is freezing cold. And some of the people that are actually walking across the border are standing for hours and hours at a time with absolutely not enough clothing to protect themselves from the elements. You and I can work together to make that difference. And so I want you to understand, we don't want you to send money to us. In fact, we're going to partner with you. We believe that for the first tranche, we're going to need about $40,000 to make all of these things happen. His capital is going to match that number, and we're going to push as hard as we can to hit these figures. And all we're asking is for you to consider from the bottom of your heart how much you would be willing to join us with, whether it's $500, whether it's $1,000, whether it's $10,000, wherever it is in your heart. We just ask you to join us. We're going to all donate these funds directly to Mission 823 so that we can execute our plan and begin to have local impact in those lives of those people out there right now and immediately.
Now that we covered all the needs, we're going to ask you for one more thing. Can you share this information with maybe your church, your sphere of influence, others, and get this information out there? This is not about us. This is not about you. This is about the saving the lives of these wonderful people. And we are calling on each one of us to give what we can give, and literally, like Rick mentioned, even if it's one life, it would be worth it. And I believe we can save thousands of lives.
I agree with you 100%, Steve. And so guys, first of all, I want to thank you, each and every one of you, for considering joining us on this very important mission. And as Steve said, it's all about sharing this information to other people who also have the heart of making a difference. I think we can all come together and do exceedingly abundantly as God has called us to do. So let's change some lives together right now. Let's join forces. Let's help the people of Ukraine, and let's turn something negative into a positive, leaving a legacy worth remembering.
We love you guys. We're a family, and we're glad you're here.